This is the belly burn workout, and when you add proper nutrition with this exercise plan, not only do you cinch in the waist and get a flatter belly, but at the same time you protect the low back and you strengthen the low back so you have less back pain. It is a win-win, and it is one of my favorite workout plans there is. So let's get started. We need the ground and nothing else. Okay, we've got 3 moves and we're not going to stop. So let's get started. Lie on the ground. Place your hands under the small of your back. Notice how my elbows are flared out to the side. Lie down and extend one leg out. Your hands are placed underneath the small of your back, protecting that natural arch, creating that natural arch and not exaggerating it. It also acts as support on your back. From here, press into your elbows. Exhale as you lift up your head and your shoulders. It's a very small move. I'm pressing in with my elbows into the ground. This way I'm protected the entire time in my low back. Then relax back down again. Lift up the head and the shoulders and press into the elbows. My hands stay connected to my back the entire time. Stay lifted up. We're holding this for about 10 seconds, and then slowly we lower back down to the ground. Exhale. Inhale again and lift the head and the shoulders. Press into the elbows. Lifting up, continue to hold. And then lower back down. Up again. Deep inhale. Exhale as you lift your head and your shoulders. If you're starting to feel that this is a little bit easier, you could try lifting your elbows off of the ground. Your hands are still connected to the low back. And then lower back down. Let's switch legs. Opposite leg extends out. Bend the other foot. From here, lift the head and the shoulders, pressing into the back with your hands. Hold this position up. And then lower back down. Again, lift up. Head and shoulders pressing into the elbows. Keep on holding and then lower back down to the ground. So as you're doing this exercise, your head reaches up towards the sky. Your chest reaches up towards the sky, but your hands stay connected the entire time to your back. It's almost like it's this support for your back as you're doing this exercise. Holding it, breathe, and lower back down. Okay, now turn to your side. Your elbow is underneath your shoulder. Knees together and slightly in front of your hips. Your hips are back. Lift up your hips. And notice how you're a straight line from the top of your head down to your knees. If this is difficult for you, take the top hand and place it on the ground to give yourself a little bit more support. The entire time, your hips are in alignment with your knees and your head, keeping yourself in that straight line. If you start to feel this in your shoulders, continue to hold. But if you start to feel this in your shoulders, realign your shoulder. Your shoulder might be out too far or in. So keep on holding this while I demonstrate that for you. So if your shoulder, if your elbow is out too far, your shoulder creates this weird angle here. And if it's in too much, then it creates a weird angle here, and that puts a lot of stress on the elbow and the shoulder. So make sure that your elbow is right underneath as you're holding this. We're holding this for about 30 seconds. Deep inhales and exhales. Focus on bracing. So we're not looking to suck in the stomach, but we want to brace. So it's almost as though you're coughing. If you cough, what happens? You contract those muscles and you feel that tension in the tummy. That's what you're looking to do. Not very attractive, but it definitely works at helping you to brace your stomach. Then lower back down and go to the other side. Start by realigning your elbow underneath the shoulder. Knees are slightly in front. We're working on these sides here. We're getting them nice and tight at the same time as protecting our low back. Now, lift up the hip. Keeping in alignment the head to hips to knee. Again, if you need to, take that top hand and place it on the ground, giving you support. Keeping the side lifted high, you'll feel it around your side. So that's how you know that it's working, right here. And sometimes you might even feel it in the low back as those low back muscles that are slightly weak, they're starting to learn how to brace and support your spine. As long as you're in proper form, you're doing great. Hold this for 30 seconds. And then slowly lower down. Final exercise. It's not about moving, it's about isometrics, but does it ever create a burn? I love this exercise. So lie down on the ground. Both knees stay bent and you create that natural arch in your spine. We're always looking for a natural arch, never pressing your back into the ground and never creating an extra arch. So how do you know you're doing that? We'll start by flattening your back into the ground and then relax. That's how you know you're in a neutral spine, the natural arch in your spine. And that might be a little bit more pronounced for some people and not for others. So for example, for myself, I can get both hands under, but for you, it might be a little bit more. But you'll definitely know you're in position when you flatten your back and then relax. Then from here, we're going to exhale. Lift your head, lift your shoulders, and fingertips come towards your heels. But now let's add on a lever. One arm comes overhead. Notice how nothing changes. I do not crunch up and down. I'm holding this isometric contraction in my abs. Arm comes up and then down, and then the other side comes up and then down, just like this. So what if your neck starts to feel this as you're doing this? Take one hand and place it under your head. Give yourself a little bit support looking up at the sky as you continue with just one arm only. Your shoulders stay off of the ground. You keep that natural arch in your spine and you continue to pump your arm back and forward, almost like you're swimming. We're doing 6 on this side and then switching sides. And again, if you don't have problems with your neck, if you can hold the position the entire time, then you're going to do one arm followed by the other. But after doing a few exercises in a row, sometimes the back of the neck gets tired as you're doing this. And so you need that little bit of support. Maybe over time you can focus on moving your hand away and doing one followed by the other. But at the beginning, it's no problem. Keep on going with one side. You're feeling the burn in the abs because your shoulders and head are lifted. One more and release. From this, we would do the whole thing all over again.